Discover why multitasking isn't the superpower you think it is, and how it's secretly draining your cognitive abilities. We live in a world that celebrates multitasking, but what if I told you that every time you switch tasks, you're paying a hidden cognitive tax? Let's start by debunking the biggest myth about multitasking. Here's the truth. Your brain doesn't actually multitask. What feels like doing multiple things at once is really rapid task switching. Your brain bounces back and forth between tasks, and each switch comes with a cost. So here's an important question. How much time do we actually lose from this constant task switching? Research shows that each task switch costs you between 0.1 to 4 seconds, depending on task complexity. If you switch tasks just 20 times per hour, you're losing between 2 and 80 seconds every single hour to cognitive overhead. But the real cost goes deeper than just time. Let me introduce you to attention residue. When you switch from one task to another, part of your attention stays stuck on the previous task. This is called attention residue. This phenomenon was discovered by researcher Sophie Leroy in 2009. Your performance on a new task equals your total cognitive capacity minus the attention residue from your old task. The more intense or unfinished the previous task was, the more residue remains, reducing your available mental resources. Now let's talk about what happens to your working memory during multitasking. Your working memory can only hold about 4 to 7 items at once. Think of it as your brain's RAM. The famous formula, working memory capacity, equals 7 plus or minus 2 chunks of information. So what happens when multitasking forces us to exceed this natural limit? Information gets dropped. Your brain starts losing track of details, making errors, and experiencing mental fatigue. Each additional task you juggle exponentially increases your cognitive load, overwhelming your working memory. Now for the shocking part, multitasking can temporarily lower your IQ. Studies from the University of London found that multitasking can reduce your effective IQ by 10 to 15 points. To put that in perspective, a 10-point IQ drop is similar to losing an entire night of sleep. Here's a visual comparison. Focused work lets you operate at full cognitive capacity of 100, while multitasking drops you down to 85 or 90. The good news is, this isn't permanent brain damage. But while you're multitasking, you're genuinely operating at reduced cognitive capacity. Multitasking also distorts your perception of time in dangerous ways. Here's the paradox. Multitasking makes you feel incredibly busy and productive, but you actually accomplish significantly less. Your perceived productivity is much greater than your actual productivity when multitasking. You might feel like you completed 6 tasks, but in reality you only finished 3, and probably with lower quality. The constant switching creates little dopamine hits that feel like progress, even though you're spinning your wheels. Let's look at a real-world example that affects almost everyone, the email trap. Imagine you're writing an important report, but you check your email every 5 minutes. Your total time equals the actual task time, plus the switch cost, multiplied by the number of switches. A 60-minute report becomes 84 minutes because you switched 12 times, losing 2 minutes per switch. 60 plus 12 times 2 equals 84 minutes. You lost 40% of your time to switching. That's a 40% productivity loss just from checking email periodically. Here's something most people don't know. Multitasking burns through your brain's fuel faster. Your brain runs on glucose, consuming about 20% of your body's total energy, despite being only 2% of your body weight. The brain uses approximately 20% of your total body energy. Focused work burns glucose steadily and efficiently. Multitasking burns through it rapidly, leaving you mentally exhausted faster. The constant task switching and mental gear shifting requires more glucose than maintaining sustained focus on one task. This is why multitasking feels so exhausting. You're literally burning through your brain fuel at an accelerated rate. Let's calculate the real productivity cost with some concrete numbers. Your efficiency equals output divided by time plus switch cost. Let's compare 4 hours of deep focused work versus 4 hours of interrupted work. Deep work gives you 240 minutes of focused output. Interrupted work gives you only 180 minutes of actual work, with 60 minutes lost to switching. That's 240 minus 180 divided by 240 equals a 25% productivity drop. You're putting in the same 4 hours, but accomplishing 25% less actual work. Now let's talk about why focus has become the ultimate competitive advantage. We live in an age of infinite information and constant distractions. Your attention is now the scarcest and most valuable resource you have. Your focus is under constant attack from email, social media, news, chat apps, phone calls, advertisements, videos, and alerts. The value you create is proportional to time spent multiplied by focus intensity. Both factors matter equally. So the big question is, how do you actually build and maintain this focus superpower? Let me introduce you to the science of single tasking, the antidote to multitasking. Single tasking means dedicating your complete attention to one task until it's finished, or you reach a natural stopping point. When you single task, all your cognitive resources flow in one direction toward one goal, creating maximum efficiency. This enables flow state, which is a function of challenge level, skill level, and sustained focus. Research shows that in flow state, productivity can increase by up to 500% compared to normal conditions. Now let's get practical. Here are proven strategies to reclaim your focus. Strategy 1. Time blocking. Schedule specific blocks of time for deep work, treating them as unmovable appointments. Block out specific times for deep work, like 9 to 11 a.m. Take a short break, then another deep work session from 11:30 to 1:30. Strategy 2. Remove digital distractions physically. Put your phone in another room, close unnecessary browser tabs, use website blockers. Strategy 3. Use the Pomodoro technique, but with longer intervals. Try 50 minutes of focus, then 10 minutes of break. Each focus session equals 50 minutes of work, plus 10 minutes of break, repeated throughout your day. Strategy 4. The single tab rule. Keep only one browser tab open for your current task. Close everything else. Strategy 5. Batch similar tasks together. Check all emails at once, make all phone calls in one block, write all reports consecutively. How do you know if these strategies are working? Let's talk about measurement. Track these key metrics on a weekly basis to see your improvement. Measure your deep work hours per week, your task completion rate, and your perceived energy levels at day's end. Calculate your focus score, deep work hours divided by total work hours, times 100 to get a percentage. Aim for at least a 50% deep work ratio. If half your work time is focused and undistracted, you're doing well. Here's where it gets really exciting: the compound effect of sustained focus over time. Your yearly output is roughly your daily focus level raised to the power of 365 days. Small daily improvements in focus create exponentially massive long-term results through compounding. Look at this graph. Linear improvement is steady but modest. Compound improvement through sustained focus creates exponential growth over time. 1 year of truly focused work can produce results equal to 5 years of constantly distracted work. Let's dive into what's happening in your brain when you practice sustained focus. Deep focus literally strengthens the neural connections in your prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for executive function. Think of your brain as a neural network. Each focus session strengthens the connections, making future focus easier and more powerful. Your neural strength is proportional to your total focus practice time. The more you practice, the stronger you become. Conversely, chronic multitasking actually weakens these connections over time, making focus progressively harder. Let's look at real-world examples of people who mastered focus. Bill Gates famously takes think weeks, where he isolates himself completely for deep thinking and reading, eliminating all distractions. Cal Newport built his career on deep work methodology, working in 3 to 4 hour focused blocks without any interruptions. These focused individuals channel all their energy toward one major goal, which naturally produces multiple significant accomplishments. Their secret isn't working more hours, it's ruthlessly eliminating unimportant tasks and protecting their focus time. Understanding the attention economy helps explain why focus is under such constant attack. Every app, website, and digital platform is engineered by teams of experts whose job is to capture and monetize your attention. Their revenue is directly proportional to the time they can hold your attention. Your distraction is their profit. You're at the center of a battlefield where 8 or more apps are fighting for your attention simultaneously. Recognizing that you're the product in this attention economy helps you resist these manipulation tactics. Let's create a personal focus protocol you can implement immediately. Morning protocol. Start your day with your hardest, most important task when your willpower and cognitive capacity are at their peak. Structure your day with critical tasks from 6 to 9 a.m., medium tasks from 9 to noon, and only low priority items after 2 p.m. Midday protocol. This is when you batch all communication tasks together, checking and responding to emails and messages in one focus block. Evening protocol. Reflect on what you accomplished, close any open mental loops, and plan tomorrow's priorities to clear your mind. Think of focus like a muscle that needs to be exercised regularly. The more you practice focus, the stronger your focus muscle becomes, allowing you to tackle more challenging tasks with greater efficiency. Just as regular physical exercise strengthens your body, regular focus practice strengthens your mind. With consistent practice, you'll see significant improvements in your productivity and cognitive abilities, allowing you to achieve more with less effort.